Hi everyone, welcome. If you've never practiced with me before, my name's Avril Williams. Today we're going to be doing a 1 hour or so Vinyasa flow class, and it's for all levels. And just a few things before we get started. You won't necessarily need any props, but if you usually use them and you would like to, then feel free to grab whatever you have around the house. So if you have blocks, great. If not, you can use a book, some sturdy shoe boxes, some cans of some kind, something that you can just kind of use as a support if needed. As far as blankets go, obviously you can use a tapestry, really a beach towel works really well, and you also won't need a strap, but if you normally need one in your practice, then great. You can use a belt of some kind or a scarf, so grab those things if you'd like. Also, a lot of people that come to my classes really enjoy the playlist, so what I've done today is I have made 2 playlists available public on Spotify. So if you look me up, Avril Williams, then you'll be able to find a playlist that can go along with this practice today. If you prefer no music, then that's great. That's how it'll be recorded. And I've made the playlist so it kind of goes with your mood. So if you kind of want something more uplifting, a little more dance and upbeat, then I have a fun flow playlist. And then if you're kind of wanting something more calming, more soothing, I have a slow flow playlist as well. Feel free to send me any messages if you're having trouble finding those. Go ahead and pause the video if that's something you want to get set up, or if you want to grab props, and then I'll meet you on my mat. So welcome back, and I really wanted the theme today to kind of embrace where we're at with things. I know I've been doing myself a lot of grounding practices at home, and I just kind of want the theme of today's class to relate back to this idea of trust, where everything is so chaotic and unknown, and it's easy for us to kind of spiral into these worlds of anxiety and worry and kind of get wrapped up in being unsure of how things will be, or even how things are in this moment. So really kind of coming back to trusting that everything is going to be okay. And I was thinking of this analogy of if you were to go skydiving, right? You fully trust that when you jump out of that plane, that a parachute is going to come up and prevent you from having any sort of tragedy, right? And you fully trust in that. You might have a moment of, I'm fearful, I'm nervous, but you would never jump out of that plane and think, no, it's not going to open, because you just would never do it, right? So thinking that if you jump without that trust, you won't enjoy the experience. So coming to a place where we can, if we trust that everything's going to be okay, suddenly there's this peace, this calm, there's less anxiety and worry, and we're able to, like I said, enjoy the experience on the way down. So that's kind of our theme today. And so if you want to get into a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you, so you can have legs crossed or extended. I have a blanket underneath, and if you'd like to sit on the edge of a block or a blanket, that is on offer as well. And just begin by closing your eyes if that feels okay. And just take a second to kind of check in with how you feel right now in this moment. So maybe any thoughts that come to mind, things that maybe happened prior to class, or things that you have coming up in the day, or anything that's been weighing on your shoulders. Maybe it's good thoughts that you've been having. So just checking in with whatever you carry with you onto your mat. let's begin by lifting up slightly through the crown of the head. So finding a long spine. And then we talk about, or I talk about very frequently in my classes, this equal but opposite. So finding this lift through the crown, but then finding an equal but opposite grounding down through the sit bones. And then maybe taking a second to draw the shoulders up towards the ears, and then letting the shoulder blades fall down the back. Just kind of releasing any tension there in the neck and in the shoulders. Releasing any tension you have in the jaw, in the brow. And then if you're feeling a little scattered or all over the place or chaotic or unsteady in any way, then you can go ahead and place the palms down onto the tops of the thighs for some more grounding. Maybe if you're feeling a little sluggish, wanting a little more uplifting energy, then you can go ahead and flip the palms to face up towards the sky. And then begin to notice the breath. Just noticing, just breathing how you would. Maybe any areas that it gets caught, areas of ease. And then begin to deepen the breath. So drawing air in through the nose. Using the mind's eye to kind of follow its path down the back of the throat, filling up the lungs, all the way down to the navel and the low belly. And at the point in which you feel full, reversing direction, exhaling the same way in which you brought the air in, following its path back from the low belly, up through the lungs and the throat, and back out the nose. Again, beginning to inhale. Moving with your own breath, but making sure to fill completely to the top. And then upon release, making sure to completely empty. And then just beginning to build a little bit of heat. Moving into Ujjayi breath, ocean breath. So finding this restriction in the back of the throat to where the breath becomes audible, even with the mouth closed. Continuing that breath in your own time. You know, the breath is one of those things that we can trust in. It's our constant. Good, and on completion of the next exhale, you can softly open the eyes if that feels okay, and just find a soft gaze on the floor in front of you. And then on the inhale, go ahead and place the right hand down onto the mat and sweep the left arm up towards the sky. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale over to the right. Bending into that side body. Not collapsing too much through the shoulder. Still finding that long spine. Good. And on the next inhale, lifting to switch arms. Left arm lowers, right arm lifts towards the sky. And exhaling over to the left. Continuing to breathe here, allowing the breath to fall all the way down. Eyes can close if it feels okay. Again, inhale to switch, and exhaling over to the right. Couple breaths here. And on the next inhale, switching sides, left arm lowers, right arm lifts. Exhale. Good. Inhale, coming back towards center. Both arms can lower just for a moment. Deep exhale. And on the next inhale, sweeping both arms up towards the sky. And exhaling, twisting over to the right. So allowing both arms to come over to the right side. That left hand can grab onto the top of the right thigh if that feels okay. And gaze can gaze over the right shoulder if you're wanting something a little bit deeper. Breathing here. One more breath. Good. And on the next inhale, coming back towards center, arms sweep back up towards the center and exhaling over to the left. Again, keeping that long spine, so not bending, but lifting up through the crown of the head. Good. Inhale, coming back towards center. And any props you have in the way, you can move off to the side. And we're going to make our way into tabletop pose. So grounding down to the tops of the feet, or toes can stay tucked, it's up to you. Just making sure the knees are underneath hips and wrists are underneath shoulders. And we're going to begin to move into a cat-cow pose. So on the inhale, lifting the chin, lifting the tail, dropping the low belly here. Good. And exhale, rounding through the spine, tucking the chin, tucking the tail, lifting up through the low belly. Again, inhale to lift. Good. And exhale to round. So pushing that floor away here, hollowing out the belly. Good. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. And then just begin to move with your own breath here. So you can continue in this traditional cat-cow if this feels good for you. Otherwise, you can begin to find some more fluidity in this movement. So kind of pushing into the hips or the shoulders. You can look over one shoulder or the other. Kind of wiggle your tail a bit. You can tap out the feet if you'd like. Just making sure whatever movement comes intuitively to you that you're connecting it with the breath. So continuing to inhale and exhale with every movement. Good, and then you can go ahead and find stillness in the pose whenever you're ready. And then on the inhale, we're going to lift the left arm up towards to the left, coming parallel with the floor. Deep inhale through the nose, and exhale, drawing that left arm underneath the right shoulder, coming down onto the left shoulder. So a deep twist here. The right hand can stay where it is, or you can play with extending it out in front of you with tented fingers, or wrapping that right arm behind the back. Deep shoulder stretch here, continuing to breathe. Good, and on completion of the next exhale, you can plant that right hand back where it was, lifting up the way you came on the inhale. Exhale, allowing that left hand to come back onto the mat. Switching sides here, so inhale, lifting the right arm parallel with the floor. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, coming down onto that right shoulder, so right arm comes under the left. Left arm can extend or wrap. Wherever you are, just breathing into that side body. Good, and on completion of the next exhale, again, that left hand can find a spot on the mat. Lifting up on the inhale, drawing that right arm back the way it came. And exhale, planting that hand back onto the mat. Good, and now we're going to ground down through the right knee and the top of the right foot. And then lift the right arm up and forward, right? And then we're also going to extend, equal but opposite again, that left leg up and back. Left foot is flexed. So a little balancing pose here. And if you notice you're dropping into the low back, draw that navel in, so strong core here. Reaching with energy flowing out through the fingertips and out through that back heel. Strong pose. Your gaze can fall right by that left thumb. Breathing here. Option to stay if you'd like. Option to reach back with that right hand and grab that left foot, coming into a little mini bow pose here. Again, a little more challenging. Breathing here. On the next exhale, releasing the foot. Inhale, extending back the way you came. And then exhale, planting the hand and the knee back onto the mat, switching sides. Good, so extending that left arm up and forward first. So reaching, long spine here, out through the crown of the head as well. Running down to the top of that left foot, and that left knee, and then extending the right leg up and back. Again, foot is flexed. And then drawing that navel up and in, so strong core. Engage in the abdominal muscles. Good, thinking of pulling in both directions. Breathing here. Good, and on the next exhale, you can reach back and grab that foot if you did on the other side. If not, continue to stay exactly where you are. Breathing here again. On the next exhale, releasing the foot. Inhale, extending both directions once more. And then exhale, allowing the hand and knee to come back onto the mat. And then let's come into child's pose. So spreading the knees wide. You can bring the big toes to touch if you'd like. Let the hips sink back. If they touch the heels, great. If they don't quite make it there, that's okay as well. And then allowing the forehead to come to meet the mat if that works for you. If you're not quite able to get there, you can place a block or a blanket underneath the forehead. Just extending the arms long. And continue to breathe here. Child's pose, it's super grounding pose. Our connection with the earth is so strong here. So at any point during the practice today, if there's a part of the practice that doesn't serve you, it doesn't feel right in your body, you can always return here if you choose. Any point of the practice that doesn't feel right for you, I challenge you to really listen to your body. If anything doesn't feel good, then don't do it. You can come into child's pose or down dog, even a Tadasana, your choice. Good. On the next inhale, go ahead and ground down through the hands, and we'll tuck the toes. And then exhale, pushing up and back to our first downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out the feet a bit. Maybe the hamstrings are tight to start. Bend deeply into the knees. Bending into the arches of the feet, whatever feels good. A few deep breaths here. Just beginning to engage the core. So inhale, shifting forward into plank. So making any adjustments maybe you need to make during the distance between the feet and the hands. Couple breaths here, nice and strong. So again, lifting up through the core, lifting up through the navel, pushing the floor away. So activating the arms, strong legs here as well. Good. And on the next exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Just distributing your weight through all 10 fingers, so all your weight isn't in your wrists here, so being mindful of that. And on the next inhale, again, shifting forward into that high plank. Good, exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Once more, inhale, shifting forward. Good. On the next exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. With your hands still planted here, let's walk the feet to meet the hands at the front of the mat. Trying to keep the hands planted as long as possible. If you need to come to fingertips, that's okay. And then once we get there, go ahead and bend deeply into the knees. So just allowing the chest to kind of fall on the tops of the thighs. And let's come into a ragdoll pose. So you can grab opposite elbows if you'd like. And just letting the head hang heavy. Maybe shaking out the neck, some yeses, some no's. You can keep the arms here if you'd like and kind of sway side to side, or let the arms hang long, whatever feels good for you. Just kind of releasing any tension in the head and the neck and the shoulders. And then finding some strength in the feet here, so grounding down through all four corners. We're going to root to rise here, so pushing the floor away. We're going to slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Good. With the chin, the last to lift. Arms can come down by our sides, Tadasana, Samasthiti. Lifting strong through the crown of the head, grounding down through the feet. Eyes can close for a moment. Maybe take a second to come to your intention today. What brought you on your mat? Why are you here? You can land maybe on a mantra, a goal, a dedication. Good, and on the next inhale, arms can sweep up towards the sky. Exhale, we bow to the mat, so flowing all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, so flat back, long crown. Hands can come to the shins or to thighs, your choice. Exhale, we fold. Good, planting the hands, stepping back or jumping back into your high plank, your choice. And to start, we're gonna exhale and lower all the way down to the mat. Elbows stay tucked in, moving nice and slow. Untucking the toes, and inhale, baby cobra here. So just tiny back bend, lifting the heart. Good, exhale to lower. Inhale, tucking the toes and passing through knees. Exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Good, on completion of the last exhale, hands stay planted once more. Again, walking towards the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift here, flat back. Exhale, fold. Running down to the feet. Inhale, arms sweep up towards the sky, we rise. Exhale, we bow. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping back into your plank. And from here, you can stay here and push back right into downward facing dog if you choose. Or you can flow through a vinyasa. You can do the same as we did prior, lowering all the way down, lifting up into a cobra pose. Or you can flow through a chaturanga dandasana, coming into a half lower, and then inhale, lifting up into our upward facing dog. Good. Your vinyasa, your choice, and exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog where we'll meet. Good, on the next inhale, lifting the right leg up towards the sky, coming into a three-legged dog. So hips are square here, toes pointed down. Good, and on the exhale, stepping through between the hands, and then lowering that back knee, untucking the back toes, coming into a low lunge. Inhale, arms sweep up. Good, just checking in that our knee isn't over the ankle, so making sure, or isn't past the ankle, I should say. You want the knee right over the ankle. Drawing everything towards the midline here, so squeezing in. Grounding down to the top of the back foot. And then just soften through the shoulders slightly. Couple deep breaths. This is an active pose. Sometimes we just sink into the hips, but keep it nice and strong here. On the next exhale, release the hands, and then make a fist behind your back, and then draw that fist down towards that back knee, opening the heart here, opening the chest. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. Good. Inhale, arms sweep back up. Exhale, we come to frame that front foot, planting the left hand down onto the mat. Right arm reaches towards the sky for a gentle twist. If you have blocks and you'd like to place one under that hand to find a little more length, you're welcome to. Continue to breathe here. On the next inhale, can you draw that right hand back, slightly letting the heart reach a little further towards the sky. Good, and exhale, come in to frame that front foot once more. Move any props out of the way. Deep inhale through the nose and tucking that back toe, and exhale, pushing back. Three-legged dog, and that right foot can come down onto the mat to meet the left. 2 deep breaths. Good, on the next inhale, switching sides, left leg reaches towards the sky, three-legged dog. Deep inhale through the nose, exhale, stepping through between the hands, coming into the other side. So lowering that back knee, untucking the back toes. Setting up the pose here first, so getting nice and strong in the legs, grounding down through that back foot, and inhale, arms sweep up. Couple deep breaths. Again, grounding down to the top of that back foot, checking in with that front knee, squeezing everything towards the midline here, scissoring the legs, releasing any tension in the shoulders. Good, on the next exhale, lowering the arms, and this time making the uncomfortable fist, so doing opposite fingers is what comes naturally to you. And then on the inhale, drawing that fist down towards that back knee. Chest opens, chin can lift slightly. Good, on the next inhale, arms sweep up towards the sky. Exhale, we frame that front foot and grounding down to the right hand. This time left arm lifts for a twist. Breathing here. Good, on the next exhale, lowering that left hand, tucking the back toes and pushing back into our three-legged dog. Then allowing that left foot to come and meet the right on the mat. This time bringing the big toes to touch here, and we're gonna bend deeply into the knees. Deep inhale, exhale, hopping to the front of our mat, just floating for just a moment. And inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, grounding down to the feet, root to rise here, arms sweep up towards the sky. Exhale, we fold. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping back into that high plank. And this time, exhale, lowering all the way down once more, all the way down to the mat. And we're coming into locust pose, so go ahead and untuck the toes. And we're gonna bring our hands down by our sides, palms face down onto the mat. And on the next inhale, lift the feet, lift the heart, lift the chest and chin and hands. Breathing here. Continue to hold. One more breath. And exhale to lower. You can come down onto one cheek. Just for a moment. Good. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift back up. Heart lifts, arms lift, feet lift. Making sure our legs aren't splayed out, our toes are pointing straight back. Energy flowing through the fingertips, through the tips of the toes. And then we can lift any slightly more off the mat. Good, and exhale. You can come down onto the other cheek this time. Good, and one more round of that. So on the next inhale, again, lifting up. Strong arms, strong legs. Not lifting the chin too far. You want to continue to keep this long spine, long neck, energy coming out the crown of the head. Good, and exhale to lower. You can bend the knees, kind of windshield wiper the legs side to side. Good, and then when you're ready, you can bring both hands back towards the chest, tucking the back toes. You can pass through knees if you'd like, or push straight up into our high plank. Option to flow through a vinyasa if you'd like. Option to push back, downward facing dog. A few deep breaths here. Also option for a child's pose if you'd like. Good. On the next inhale, lifting the right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, stepping through between the hands. Coming into that low lunge again, so untucking the back toes, lowering that back knee. Good. Inhale, arms sweep up. Couple deep breaths here. Option to continue to stay where you are, arms lifted. Option to also reach back with that right hand and grab that back foot. Coming into a twist. Kind of bending into that hamstring. Feeling it really strong in the left quad here. Good. On the next exhale, releasing the foot. Inhale, arms sweep back up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then we're going to take that left elbow and hook it to the outside of that right knee. So coming into another little twist. Breathing here. Option to stay. Option to tuck the back toes and lifting up into a high twist here. Not collapsing onto that right thigh, but lifting up through the core. Legs are engaged. Good. On the next inhale, arms can sweep up, high lunge. Again, softening the shoulders. Breathing here. And on the next inhale, windowing the arms open and twisting that back foot to be parallel with the back of the mat, coming into warrior two. Bending deeply into that front knee. Making sure it's not caving in, so drawing that right knee slightly out. Finding strong arms here, gaze over the right fingertips. Deep inhale, flipping that front palm and dropping the back arm. Exhale, sweeping back, reverse warrior. Good. Inhale to lift, right elbow comes to the top of the right thigh, left arm comes overhead. You can either reach up towards the sky if you'd like, or you can sweep that left arm over that left ear. Again, not collapsing here, not putting all our weight into that thigh, but lifting up, finding length. Couple deep breaths. Good. Inhale, lifting back up into our warrior two. Exhale, windmilling to frame that front foot. Stepping back into plank. Flowing through a vinyasa if you'd like. Or meeting us in down dog or child's pose. Wherever you are, taking a couple deep breaths. Good, and if you're not already, you can meet us back in downward facing dog. Coming into the other side, so left leg reaches towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping through between the hands, coming into that low lunge, untucking the back toes, lowering the back knee. Inhale, arms sweep up. Breathing here. Good. Option to stay, option to come into that twist and grab that back foot. Continuing to breathe. Releasing at any point that feels good for you. So whenever you're ready, releasing that back foot. Inhale, arms come back up towards the sky. Then exhale, hands to heart center. Breathing. And when you're ready, taking that right elbow, hooking it to the outside of that left knee, coming into that twist. So really trying to keep your hands towards heart center here, not letting it shift. So drawing that heart towards the hands, coming into a full version of that twist. Good. And then tucking the back toes and lifting that back knee. Strong legs. Breathing here, finding length through the crown of the head as well, all the way down to that back heel. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms sweep up. Coming into our high lunge. Couple deep breaths. Again, softening the shoulders. On the next inhale, windmilling the arms open back into that warrior two pose. Making any adjustments with the feet that you need to. Start to notice if you're coming out of the bend in that front knee, so bending a little deeper here, good. Good, on the next inhale, flipping that front palm, dropping the right arm down, exhale, sweeping back, reverse warrior. Breathe. Good, inhale to lift, left elbow comes to the top of the left thigh, right arm comes overhead or over that right ear, your choice. I like to envision just energy flowing from that back foot all the way up through my side body and out through my fingertips. Good. Inhale, windmilling back up to warrior two. Then exhale, windmilling the arms down to frame that front foot. Stepping back into our plank and flowing through a vinyasa if you'd like. Again, we're meeting in child's pose or downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths wherever you are. And if you aren't already, you can go ahead and meet us back in downward facing dog. And then bringing the big toes to touch once more. Again, bending deeply into the knees. Look where we're headed, so looking between the thumbs. Then exhale, hopping forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach to rise, grounding down to the feet, arms sweep up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center this time. So just pause. Even in this pose, finding some activation, so grounding down to the feet, maybe lifting the toes for a moment just to reconnect with the earth. Making sure we're not sinking into the low back, tucking the tail slightly, long spine up through the crown of the head. Eyes are soft. Return to that intention. Maybe noticing the difference in the pose now. Prana flowing, that energy, that life force, heart beating. Maybe a little more heat has built. Good. On the inhale, arms sweep back up towards the sky. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping back, and again, this time we're lowering all the way down to the mat, keeping those elbows tucked in, so moving nice and slowly, lowering down. Then untucking the toes. And we're gonna extend the arms long again, just as we did before, coming into locust. So option to do locust again, the way we did prior. Option to come into bow pose, so reaching back to grab the feet. And just making sure that our knees stay tucked in and don't splay out. So on the inhale, we'll lift the chest, kicking the feet into the hands. Kind of a low back bend here. Again, not letting the knees splay out, so making sure they're parallel with each other. Good. Exhale, releasing the feet, coming down onto one shin. Couple deep breaths. And if you're doing locust, just continue the same as before. Good. Again, lifting once more, so grabbing the feet if you're coming into bow. And deep inhale, again, lifting chest, kicking the feet nice and strong. Can you lift any bit more? Continue to breathe. Good. Exhale, lower down. Come onto the other cheek. Again, windshield wiper the legs. Just massaging that low back. And lower the feet. Planting the hands, and this time instead of pressing up towards high plank, we're actually just going to push back into a child's pose. So again, bringing the knees apart. Big toes can touch. If you prefer, you can bring the knees together and allow the hands to come down by our sides, which might feel good on the low back. Just keep taking a couple deep breaths there, wherever you are. When you're ready, you can lift back up into downward facing dog, letting the hips lift. Good. And on the inhale, reaching the right leg high, three-legged dog again. Hips are still square. And then exhale, stepping through between the hands. And you're in a runner's lunge just for a moment. So finding that length. And then grounding down to that front foot, really strong here. We're gonna lift up into a split. So standing split, it's not actually a split. Think more of a standing L, because I'd like you to try and keep your hips square. So dropping that left hip down slightly, not letting it open up. And finding that stretch through the hamstring of the right leg. Head can hang long. Couple deep breaths. Good. And then coming up to stand, keeping that left leg lifted, and you can draw that left knee up towards chest. And coming into a tree pose. So that left foot can come to the inside of the left thigh if you'd like, but also an option to just keep it on the calf or a little kickstand on the ankle. My only ask is that you don't place it onto the knee joint. So high or low, doesn't matter. And then breathing here. Hands can come to heart. Finding a drishti, so a point of gaze, soft eyes. You can kind of play with the arms if you choose, if you want to lift them overhead or extend your branches. If you really want to challenge, you can close the eyes for a moment. Good, and then we're going to move into dancer. So releasing that left leg, grabbing the inside of the left foot, and then lifting that left foot up and back, kicking it into the hand the same way we did into bow pose. Right arm can extend. So again, just not letting the knees splay out, really keeping everything tight. Bending into the low back slightly. If it doesn't come up that high and you're here, that's okay too, and just focusing on the balance of it. Couple deep breaths. Good. Exhale, release that left foot down to meet the right. And inhale, arms will sweep back up. Exhale, we fold. Good. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bow. Planting the hands, stepping back, flowing through your vinyasa if you choose. Again, it can be knees, chest, chin. You can lower all the way down and lift up into cobra. Or chaturanga, followed by up dog, your choice. Meeting in downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths. And then lifting the left leg up towards the sky. Deep inhale. Exhale, stepping through between the hands. Shifting all our weight into that left foot, grounding down, nice and strong here, and lifting that right leg up towards the sky. Foot is flexed, toes pointed down. Dropping that right hip down, right? So not opening the hips like you would coming into a half moon, but dropping that right hip down slightly to just bend into that left hamstring. Breathing here. Good, and then drawing that right knee up towards chest, keeping the right leg lifted, running down to the left foot, coming into tree pose, your version, whatever that looks like. Try not to let that left hip jut out, but push the ground away so that left hip comes in. So we're not sinking into the hips. It's nice and strong through the left leg. Coming into your variation of the pose. Breathing here. Good. And you can bring the hands back to heart, releasing that right foot and using the right hand to grab the inside. And then kicking the foot into the hand, left arm can extend. Continue to breathe. Again, what it looks like doesn't matter, but more so how the pose feels. Good, and then exhale, releasing the right foot down to meet the left. Inhale, arms sweep up towards the sky. Exhale, bow to the mat. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands, pushing back. Again, your vinyasa, your choice, meeting us in downward facing dog. When you're ready, coming into one of my favorites, as some of you know, reaching the right leg up for a 3-legged dog, and then drawing that right knee towards the right wrist. We're coming into a pigeon here. So making sure that back leg is long, toes are going straight back, and then bending into the right foot to protect the knee joint here. So not worrying so much about making sure your shin is parallel, but just that that right foot is flexed and that that back toes are going straight back. And then inhale, letting the heart shine first. Well, deep breaths here. And then on the exhale, you can slowly lower down if that feels okay for you. Maybe coming onto forearms. You could come onto a block if you'd like, if that's too deep of a pose. Or you can come all the way down onto the floor, whatever feels best. So wherever you are, just breathing there. always say to kind of separate the difference between pain and discomfort. So wherever you are, if you're feeling a little discomfort, can you draw your breath to that space? Is there anywhere you can soften to release tension? And if at any point that pose doesn't feel good to you, feel free to slowly make your way out. I challenge you to kind of sit with whatever comes up. Noticing where your mind begins to wander. Today we talk about trust. Trusting in whatever divine sense that you believe in, whether that be God or the universe or Mother Nature. Just kind of trusting in that support, that guidance. Maybe it's just your own practice. Like we talked about with breath, just coming back to that. Things that we know are constants. Trusting in the support of our community, our neighbors. And ultimately, if all else fails, finding trust in our own self, in our own decision making. So when you're ready, go ahead and plant the hands. And slowly making your way up. Letting the heart shine again first, just as the way you went down. So deep inhale through the nose, long stretch up through the crown of the head, and then can ground down through both hands and shoot that right leg up and back for that three-legged dog. And kind of do whatever you need to do to work that out. So maybe it's some circles with the knees. Maybe you want to open the hip or flip your dog. Maybe flow through a vinyasa if you'd like. Whatever you gotta do to kind of even things out, and then allowing that right foot to come back onto the mat to meet the left. And we'll switch sides, so lifting that left leg up and back. Toes pointed down, deep inhale through the nose, and exhale, drawing that left knee towards that left wrist. Allowing the left ankle to come towards the right wrist, left foot is flexed. And then giving a little peek back and checking those right toes to make sure they're pointed straight. If you need to put a prop underneath your bum, like tucking a towel or a blanket for a little bit more support, you're more than welcome. And then grounding down through the hands and inhale, letting the heart shine forward. Good, and then exhale, slowly lowering down, so walking the hands onto the forearms. We're allowing the forehead to come either on the forearms or onto the mat. Again, if you want to keep the hands extended and just stay with that heart lifted, you're more than welcome if that space feels better for you. And just wherever you are, just breathing here. Again, using our breath as a tool, so guiding that breath visually, like in our mind's eye, drawing the air in through the nose and guiding it towards the space in which we feel sensation. Kind of using it as nourishment. Try and find some strength with every inhale, and then some release and some softness with every exhale. Just beginning to to settle into the pose. Again, noticing what comes up, where your mind goes. Is there anywhere you can release a tiny bit more? Three more breaths here. And then on completion of your next exhale, you can go ahead and bring the palms back onto the mat. Moving ever so slowly, so no rush in getting anywhere. And just rounding down through the hands. And again, inhale, letting the heart lift, drawing the shoulders back. Then tucking those back toes and grounding down through the hands and pushing that foot up and back. Again, working out whatever needs to happen. A chance to take your final vinyasa if you'd like. And meeting in downward facing dog. And once there, you can go ahead and drop the knees. Just coming into table just for a moment, and then we're just going to bring the feet off to the sides and come down onto our bums. We'll extend the legs long. And then we'll slowly make our way down, coming onto our backs. And then drawing the right knee up towards chest, just kind of hug it in. Hug it into that right armpit and ground down to the left leg, so left leg is strong here. Good, and then take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale, allowing that right knee to fall over to the left, but grounding down to that right shoulder, so not letting the right shoulder come off the mat, but ground down there and then use the left hand to apply a little pressure to that right knee if you choose. And then the right arm can extend if you'd like a little stretch through the chest, through the upper body. And gaze can fall over that right hand. Breathing here. Good. Inhale, coming back towards center and switching sides, letting the right leg go long. Inhale that left knee up towards the left armpit. Give it a little squeeze. Deep inhale through the nose and exhale, letting it fall over to the right. Right hand can guide it. And then grounding down through that left shoulder. Left arm can extend. Gaze can fall over the left fingertips. Continuing to breathe. Good. And then the next inhale, coming back towards center. And then just wrapping the arms around both knees and can kind of draw the chin in, coming into a little egg shape here if you'd like. Breathing here. Kind of rock side to side or circle the knees. Again, massaging that low back slightly. Good. And then finally coming into a happy baby pose. So you can use your peace fingers around the big toes, drawing the knees in towards the armpits, up towards the chest, or you can grab the outsides of the feet. Or if even that feels challenging and just isn't happening today, you can wrap the forearms around the backs of the knees to kind of get the same effect. Maybe rocking side to side, and my favorite version of the pose is kind of stamping my low back into the floor, so finding this stability in this flatness in the low back that we don't normally get throughout the day. Good. And when you're ready, you can release the legs. Coming into this a full body stretch, so extending the arms long, feet long. Then making your way into Shavasana, so corpse pose, or whatever that looks like for you. You could allow the feet to just fall however they do. Arms down by your sides, palms up towards the sky. You can use any props that you have. If you'd like a blanket over the torso for some more grounding, or place some pillows or things behind the backs of the knees. An eye pillow if you have one over the eyes. And just starting down at the feet, allowing them to fall heavy on the earth. Letting the legs be pulled toward the ground. Letting the hips hang heavy. The core, the chest. Letting the arms be weighted down. Letting the shoulders fall back. Releasing any tension in the throat, in the jaw. Letting the eyes fall softly in the sockets and releasing any tension in the brow. Shavasana. When you fully trust and surrender to what is, and so become fully present, the past ceases to have any power. The realm of being, which had been obscured by the mind, then opens up. Suddenly, a great stillness arises within. An unfathomable sense of peace. And within that peace, there's great joy. And within that joy is love. And at the innermost core, there is the sacred, the immeasurable, that which cannot be named. Begin to bring some movement to the body. Maybe that's taking a deep breath, or licking the lips. Just with eyes still closed, kind of awakening the senses, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, and whenever you feel ready, no rush, just drawing the knees up towards the chest. And then allowing the knees to fall to one side or the other, whichever side you're drawn to. Again, eyes still closed. And just taking a moment to thank yourself for making your way onto your mat today. You know, developing a home practice can be a challenge. Give yourself a bit of gratitude for making that choice to set that time aside. And then when you're ready, and again, only when you are, eyes still closed if it feels okay, or finding that soft gaze on the floor, you can slowly make your way back up into that comfy seat that we started in. Bring the hands to heart center, to Anjali Mudra. I want to thank you all for joining me today. And as always, not just for honoring your own practice, but for being a part of my journey as well. Having this ability to teach in some form or another. It's really nourishing for me as well, so I thank you for that. And I thank you for continuing to stay a part of this community. And as we say here at Arcana, to close our practice, Om Shanti. Again, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed our practice. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on social media. I'm on Instagram, a dandylline, ADANDYLINE. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to hear from you, and stay well.